Mark Wahlberg finally sells his mega mansion after a massive $32 million price cut. Like, can you even imagine having $32 million to begin with? That is such a massive amount of money. So it was a marquee markdown. Mark Wahlberg sold his Beverly Hills mansion for $55 million on Friday, $32.5 million less than its initial listing of $87.5 million in April 2022. The sprawling 30,500 square foot home features 12 bedrooms and 20 bathrooms, which, by the way, why on earth do you ever need 20 bathrooms? Like, this type of home just like screams like annoying to me, right? It's like I couldn't even fathom having to even like deal with this or even having to hire people to deal with this sort of stuff. Like what? Like after a certain point, the more like expensive items that you have, the more hassle it is just to deal with it. Like so for example, let's say that you were to own like a brand new Mustang, right? Okay. Yeah, it might cost a little bit more in gas. I mean, since it's a Ford, it probably isn't going to be that expensive to maintain it, but still something might go wrong. But let's say that now you have a Lamborghini, a brand new Lamborghini, right? And let's just say an Aventador, because typically those things break down pretty much all the time. Well, now you have to worry about that getting scratched, something bad happening. If an engine blows up, guess what? That's like 40, 50, 60 grand. Snap of the fingers gone, right? And just the average maintenance of that car, if you were to drive it like a normal car, would be massive. Or even on top of that, a Bugatti, which I think the average running cost of a Bugatti is I think about like $200,000 just to maintain it. Of like, if you didn't even move the vehicle, it'll cost you 200 grand a year. So it keeps getting more of a hassle to deal with these items. So like after a certain point, like I just don't understand what goes through some of these people's heads. Just like, you know what? I make so much money now. Let me just deal with this massive headache just because I can. Like to me, it just doesn't seem worth it. So the 6.2-acre estate is located in the exclusive North Beverly Park gated community. The Ted Star 51, which by the way, he looks pretty good for 51, took the property off the market in October due to climbing interest rates before relisting it in November at $79.5 million. The Post reached out to Wahlberg reps for comment, and the buyer, who has not been identified publicly, is represented by Compass Ginger Glass. So the mansion sits on a sprawling plot of 6.2 acres. Wahlberg seems to have taken 5 years to renovate the home to his liking. So Wahlberg purchased the land in 2009 for a measly 8.25 million, putting in at least 5 years of renovation efforts to achieve a Mediterranean style manor with his wife Rhea Durham. The home includes a fitness center where Wahlberg has posted his intense workout routine to social media, a tennis court, a home theater, manicured gardens, a 5-hole golf course, a skate park, and a resort like grotto pool. Essentially, this is your own private country club, the listing touts. Designed by architect Richard Landry, who has created homes for Sylvester Stallone, Tom Brady, and other celebrities, the colossal mansion also boasts a two-story entry lobby, staff quarters, a wine cigar cellar, and a tasting smoking lounge. Like, I don't know. To me, if I had the type of money that like Mark Wahlberg has, I'd probably actually buy a mansion, but a mansion where I wouldn't really even have to hire someone to live there to take care of it. Because to me, I feel like if you were to buy a home, shouldn't you feel like that is your home? I don't know. I guess I just like privacy. The sale follows Wahlberg's announcement that he left California in the dust for Nevada, pretty much for tax reasons, let's be real. I want to be able to work from home, the actor said on an episode of The Talk last year. I moved to California many years ago to pursue acting, and I've only made a couple of movies in the entire time that I was there. And yet, throughout that whole time, you were paying California tax. So, to be able to give my kids a better life and follow and pursue their dreams, whether it be my daughter as an equestrian, my son as a basketball player, my younger son as a golfer, this made a lot more sense for us, he added. Man, that is a cool theater, not gonna lie. But kind of creepy as well. The Father Stew actor shares four children with Durham, Ella 19, Michael 16, Brendan 14, and Grace 13. We came here just to kind of give ourselves a new look, a fresh start for the kids, and there's a lot of opportunity here. I'm really excited about the future, Wahlberg added about Nevada. By the way, what's kind of weird when you like if you were to like take a step back and like really think about it, Wahlberg is so rich, right? That if he simply did not like build this property and like had to drop the cost, like for example, he built this property, tried to sell for like 80 something, lost like 32 point something million in terms of like the price drop, right? That price drop alone, right? He could have basically just given to his kids and literally set them up for life, financially speaking. Which technically he might have already done that in some other manner. But I just think it's funny, like, he's so rich that he could technically just financially set his kids up for life instead of even bothering to move or doing anything like that. Or basically, what's funny, if he didn't pay any of the Californian taxes and was living in Nevada the whole time, that tax savings alone that he could have made throughout that course of his stay could have set his kids up for life, which is funny. So this is basically his whole property, which by the way, like it looks like a cool property. Like I understand the thought of like, oh cool, I own that, right? If you were to look at it. But my thought is, why would I want to have to deal with it? Why would I want to have to deal with employees to take care of it? Why would I want to create a business just to take care of the place that I go to sleep at night? To me, that just sounds so annoying. Like to me, like if you were to buy something like spend a good amount of money on like a primary residence for yourself, I'd feel like wouldn't you just want to go in there and just veg out if you wanted to, or go do whatever at your house without really having to deal with other people? I mean, maybe some people are more of like an extrovert and want to like hang out with a whole bunch of people and whatnot, but to me, it's just like there's going to be always people on this property for this type of property. There's always going to be people there, right? Meaning like you're never really alone, even in the privacy of your own home. So he swapped lavish Los Angeles for a 15.6 million, 2.5 acre plot in the Las Vegas area, according to the Las Vegas Review Journal. And he has plans to create a state of the art studio, he revealed, while also aiming to build a factory for his sports apparel company, Municipal, which he co founded in 2019. The Me Time actor is slated to appear in The Family Plan, Our Man from Jersey, and Arthur the King. He is also listed as a producer on several upcoming projects. And here's the thing, like it's his money, he can do whatever he wants with his money. I'm just basically like viewing this kind of like situation as if I had his money, right? Like to me, like one, I probably would have never moved to California just because of the tax reasons. But two, it's just like this is so much house and such a massive pain. Ugh. Let's check some of these comments. Staff quarters? I guess servant quarters is out. Dirk Diggler has assembled quite a book collection since Boogie Nights. Was thinking about grabbing it, but realized I was about 55 million short. I went as far as to make an offer, but 500k just wasn't cutting it. 12 bedrooms, but only 20 bathrooms? What are you supposed to do? Walk like 20 plus feet to a bathroom? Which, by the way, wouldn't that kind of suck? If you had to walk a very long distance to go to the bathroom? Follow the money, taxes. He is one of us, just a regular guy. Does not even look cozy and inviting. It reads, "Don't touch anything while you are inside." If I'm spending 55 mil, Cali is not my choice to move there. I'm living next to Tina Turner in south of France. Didn't he blind a Vietnamese guy? Yes. It would make a great hotel, but single family residence? Nah. Your kids would go nuts. Let's see. This person says, I just read an article in the Post about a person living in an 80 square foot New York City apartment. Like, isn't that crazy? I think it's so interesting to see the massive difference in terms of like wealth that people have. Because when you think about it, two people have the same 24 hours in a day, but one person has 50,000 times the net worth basically than another person. Let's see, it's only a price cut if that is not the price he really wanted. In that market, if you want 55 mil, ask for 80 plus. Buyer can brag that he got a deal, and the seller can have a nice laugh with the real estate brokers as they collect their 2.7 plus million dollar commission. I mean, perhaps that's the case, but California is so weird that literally everything is just so expensive. Maybe he and other wealthy people are tired of being taxed to death. What's Newsom going to do when the piggy bank is empty? He's already gone through the state's surplus, and now they're in the red, and maybe the homeless and drug cartels will make up the difference. It shouldn't go unnoted that Nevada is a no income tax state. I'm sure that was a huge draw for him, as is Florida for many people. Yeah, like I don't think people really understand just how massive of a difference living in like a no income tax state actually is. And you really start to notice it once you start making good money, right? So if someone was making like 50k, they probably wouldn't really feel that like that big difference between the two states. But let's say that you're making six figures, like 100 grand. Maybe you're making 400 grand. Maybe you're making 500. Maybe you're making a million a year. Then you start seeing massive numbers coming out to the state, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm paying all this money for what exactly? For more homeless people? For more drugs to be on the street? So that's why it always confuses me that there's so many wealthy individuals in these high tax states, right? To me, I mean, I guess in some cases they live there because that's where they're able to make all that type of money. But at the same time, you could probably find something comparable in a different state and not have to pay the massive state tax. You could just move to a more, like, I guess, advanced city where you could end up having the same type of career field. But I don't know. Let's see. Seriously, if you're that wealthy and concerned about taxes, then you're just plain greedy. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and there'll be plenty of money left over for his great grandchildren, no matter how much in taxes he's being asked to pay. Rich people should pay more in taxes, lots more. Look at that grotesque spread of a house. 50 people could live there and probably not bump into each other for a week. Servants' quarters for the now I found God. Nice racist underwear boy. Interesting. Now here's the thing. In my opinion, I think the best way to solve the whole tax issue is one, get rid of all loopholes and just have a flat tax. So if they can't do any loopholes, then no matter what, they're going to be paying a 10% tax, but that's for everyone, right? That's the way that I view it. I think everyone should just pay a 10% tax. You know exactly what you're having to pay. There's no confusion, no loopholes, no tricks, no like random fees. Just bam, that's how much you pay, period. And then you could choose to donate more or like get taxed a little bit more for specific stuff like, oh, you want to put more money towards healthcare? Here's like 1 or 2% towards healthcare on top of that. Do you want stuff to go to the military? 1 to 2%, whatever, how much you want to give to there, right? You want to help pay for education, etc. But a lot of people, like the thing that, like the biggest issue I have with taxes is that technically taxes should have never even been around, right? For a very long time, there was actually no state tax, no federal tax in this country. But then basically it got pretty much put in due to funding a war, right? And it was only supposed to be temporary, but people, once they get into power, they want more money. The government wants more money. They want everyone's money, regardless. So it's just the whole tax thing I just never liked in general. Can you imagine the state and local taxes on the property? I'll bet 5 families could live comfortably off just the local taxes because Cali doesn't ask the poor people to pay any tax and only goes after those who actually work and make money. Let's see. Have you ever gone into a store, taken an item off the shelf with a price tag of $1, but when you check out your bill, is more than that? Unless you've lived your entire life in Alaska, Delaware, Montana, New Hampshire, or Oregon, the answer is yes, because you paid the number one source of state and local tax revenue, sales tax. And guess what? The sales tax rate doesn't vary whether you earn minimum wage or you make billions. Californians in the bottom 20% of income pay 10.5% of their income in state and local taxes. Californians in the top 1% pay 12.4%. Amazingly, this is the least regressive state and local tax system in the country. There are only 4 other states plus DC where the bottom 20% pay less in state and local taxes than the top 1%, according to Truth Hurts, who wrote that comment. Boy, that house is horrible. He is overcompensating for something he has that small. To need such a garish place is to inhabit. Interesting. That's a lot of Wahlburgers. In the Daily Mail yesterday, it said Mark was desperately trying to flee California. Interesting. I'm surprised he hasn't run out of money. Doesn't seem to right. The thing is, even if he's super bad with money, he's bringing in so much money that is counteracting it, which is crazy. The only problem is, if he stops working, is he still actually going to be making good money? I don't know, right? Because I don't know if he has any of these like income sources that are recurring, right? Because maybe he has some sort of like royalty deal with some of the stuff that he is starred in or helps produce, that sort of stuff. Maybe he will basically be generating a certain amount of money every single year, no matter what, due to those deals. But I don't know, right? Because the thing is, he's basically around the tier of like, let's say, The Rock. Yeah, about that, right? Where they've done so much work, they also produce so many different shows, they have their hands in so many different things that the amount of money that's coming in is probably so hard to even imagine, right? Because, like, imagine if you were basically bringing in millions upon millions of dollars every single month, right? Even for things that you've done in your past, and it's just compounding on that. So let's say that you were making like a million 2 months ago, and then a month ago you were making like 3 million, and then this month you're making like 6 million a month, right? Like it's got to be crazy, right? Because like here's the thing, like some of these actors, what they get paid for like their movies is like 50 million to just be shown in a movie, $100 million, $300 million, depending on how good it ends up doing. I think I saw one time where an actor got paid, I think, close to like $400 million for their role in a few movies because it was like a series or something, which is crazy to me. Like the amount of money that is just insane, right? Yeah. Feel free to give your thoughts about this. I just found this to be very interesting because the main reason why he pretty much was fleeing this state is basically for taxes.